Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome. Today is Tuesday, June the 6th, 2023. My name's Jeremy. And this is my first cup. Good morning, Frank. Good morning, Nathan. Good morning, Gad. And good morning to all the rest of you out there, whether you are watching live later or listening. Thank you for coming by. How was your Monday? How was the start to the work week? I had quite the day. Oh, man, let me turn my phone over. Good morning, Stacy. Let's see. So, did a whole bunch of work, bunch of meetings. One of my clients has clients, so we had a new client meeting. I'm not quite sure how to express that, but we'll call it client's client. I had a client's client meeting. That went well. Number of other meetings. Everything just kind of fell into place. And went and I had a firearms lesson, and that went really well. And I said, I am taking my birthday off. Thursday's my birthday. We will still have a show. We're gonna have a show Thursday. We are going to have a show Friday. I don't like canceling Friday shows if I can help it. And yes, we're still having the mastermind group on Thursday, because trying to find a new schedule for that's not going to happen with everybody. But other than that, I'm taking Thursday off. I said, Tuesday, today, is a recording day. Got 4 podcast interviews I am recording today. And that kind of kills my productivity today. So between those 2 days, I went, I am behind. I'm not going to catch up if I don't do something about it. So I went back to the office. Grabbed a taco salad from Julio's across the street, one of my favorite restaurants. And I did another 2 hours work. 90 minutes of it for one client. Somebody had sent me 8 emails packed with things they wanted done. Wow, there's a lot of work. Okay, got it done. And so then 9 something, I'm done, and I'm driving home, and I pull onto my road, and I get about halfway down my road. I'm a mile from home, and there's a tree across the road. And there's nobody around. It's like, oh, okay. And it was a birch, and it wasn't that big. So I tried moving it, but it was still stuck to the stump. If it was bigger and in a different position, it's what foresters would call a widowmaker, because it's really hard to predict how those trees are going to fall. Of course, it was on the side of the road, so it wasn't a big deal. Couldn't move it. So I went, okay. Oh, wait, I have a hatchet in my car. Yes, I carry a hatchet in my car. I carry about everything in my car. I was very thankful to have this hatchet. But the core of the tree was just a little bit too much for the hatchet. Could I have done it? Yes, it just would have taken forever. So I managed to arrange the tree just angled enough that I could get the car underneath. If I'd had the Jeep, I don't know that I could have done it, but I had the RAV, and so I got under there. Got home, got the chainsaw, turned around, went back, cut it up. Was thankful it's an electric chainsaw, because by now it's 10 something at night. Was very aware that I was completely exposed, and yeah, there are bears and all kinds of other critters that live on my road. I see them all the time. It's like, but got it cut up and got the pieces off the road, and it was just about done, and some car was barreling down the road, and I was like, you gotta stop. There's still pieces of tree. It's not gonna be good for your car. They did, and I moved the pieces and waved them on, and they plowed right through. And I came home and went, okay, and I went to bed. And now I'm tired. And so that's the story of my yesterday. Good morning also to Jenny and Andrew and Tommy and Brian and Kelly and Dennis. And Tommy says, hatchet and car. I like it. I think everybody should carry a hatchet in their car and a medical kit and a tire pump and a tire pressure gauge and one of those cans of Fix-A-Flat and a couple big, thick black trash bags and a knife. What else is in there? And a fire extinguisher. The number of things that can go wrong with a car for you or somebody else. Tommy says, I do. Good. I'm not surprised. The number of things that can go wrong when you're driving is huge. The number of things that you can mitigate by just carrying like a small box of stuff is most of it. Most people get into trouble with their car because they make poor decisions. We talk often about taking a martial arts philosophy, a self-defense philosophy, a self-protective philosophy out into your day-to-day life. How many times do people make bad decisions because they are either very hungry or they have to use the bathroom? I carry company Epic makes a lot of interesting, basically meat jerkies, all sorts of weird things. I mean, they've got buffalo and they've got, I haven't seen the salmon ones in a very long time, but they do a chicken one. And I keep a couple of those in the car in the front. So if I'm really hungry and I'm about to pull over and buy a bunch of things that are terrible for me, I eat one of those and I drink some water and I make myself wait. Big trash bags can be rain ponchos if you need them to be, right? It's a lot of stuff that we often ignore, right? We offload to other people. What if I couldn't have gotten under that tree? Or what if somebody had a bigger vehicle and they couldn't get under the tree? What are they going to do? 10 o'clock at night, we're not getting a hold of anybody from the town. I can't imagine that the state police have a chainsaw in every cruiser because we don't have our own police force. State police might have been able to wake up public works, but how long would I have been waiting? Assuming instant wake ups and people deciding to take action, half hour? I could have sat there for a half hour. I spent the half hour making sure the tree wasn't a problem for anybody else. Because the way it was, if somebody's lights were bad, they very easily could have clipped the top of their car. Could have been bad. Yes, Kelly, they can. I am not condoning that. Hey, everybody do me a favor. Hit that thumbs up or the like or the heart or whatever you've got wherever you're watching, please. Help grow the show. This is the biggest crowd we've had in a little while. Appreciate that. What else happened yesterday? Shooting went well. No, I guess we'll talk about today. So today, I'm not going to be doing much. It's recording 4 episodes. If I'm not completely smoked at the end, I'll record the intros and the outros. But good morning, Liz. But I'm not sure yet. We will find out. And I'm tired. You know, it's 2 nights in a row that I went to bed later than I want to. So we'll see if the coffee kicks in. Does it? Oh, I'll go back to bed for about an hour before the show and just try to rest up. Got a couple names on the recording with today that I know, which I appreciate. So, things I'm looking forward to. Andrew says, excited about a couple of the guests. Yeah. Stacy says it's pretty darn smoky out there, certainly more than last night. I'm not sure what you're referencing. It's 40 degrees, 42 degrees here. It's cold. but I slept well. And Tommy's right. At least half an hour. Most people would find better luck with a farmer and get tractor that late in the day, I think. Yeah. That's the thing is I would have knocked on almost any of the doors on my road and said, hey, you got a chainsaw. But it was 10 something at night. And I don't know everybody on my road, and I was able to deal with it myself. I was surprised that between the noise and the car sitting there for probably a combined half hour with the hazards on, that nobody came to check it out. There are 2 houses that could have seen something going on. And maybe they did check it out and I just didn't know it. But yeah. Kelly says, my daughter is home from college graduation, and she is my new gym partner. That's awesome. I hope graduation went well. I think I saw some pictures. Jenny says, the smoke is an issue down here too. My lungs are not happy. It's been rough for a couple of weeks. I know there are fires in Canada. I don't know if I see. Maybe that's what, that's probably why the sunset on Saturday was so beautiful. Thank you, Stacy. Canadian smoke from forest fires is thick this morning. Is that not the smoke that you meant? Ha ha ha. You meant smoked as tired. Yes. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. So, all right. I'd love to know what you've got going on today. Drop that in the chat for me when you get a moment. But I think it's time to move on. I did, unlike normal, take a look at what Frank sent over. And I'm really appreciative. This is one of the times that it's very clear to me that Frank and I are friends. He hears me when I talk. He knows what's important to me. So many of you out there have probably read the book Zen in the Martial Arts. And at the very least, if you haven't, you heard me in probably the first 100 episodes of Martial Arts Radio talk about it 20 times, because it is the book that had the strongest influence on me as a martial artist. And it's definitely in the top 5 books in terms of impact on my life. Probably 4th. I don't know, I'd have to think about that, but it's up there. Okay. Joe Hyams, the author of Zen in the Martial Arts, would have been 100 today. Now, he passed not too long ago. I believe it's his wife, or perhaps not his wife. Somebody still runs his Facebook account. They didn't send it off to be memorialized, which you can do with Facebook, which, by the way, when my father passed away, was the easiest thing in the whole process. It blew my mind. And it was also easier to sell his house than sell the Verizon stock. So Verizon, you can pound sand. There's a bunch of it that I had to give up on. Not a bunch. It was like $600. Anyway. So once in a while, there's a post that comes through from Joe Hyams. And I think that's really cool. So today would have been his 100th birthday. So Frank gave us 3 quotes from Joe Hyams. If you have not read Zen in the Martial Arts, I would strongly encourage you to. Even though it is an older book, the philosophy carries through. Where's my copy? It might be out. I don't see it. It's there. It has to be there. I know it's there. I just don't see it. Anyway, it's a great book. If you liked the Martial Artist Handbook, that was my attempt to do like a part 2. So check it out. All right. Share screen. Thank you to Frank for all that you do for the show. Thank you to Josh for the theme song. And thank you to Denise for the audio. Those who are patient in the trivial things in life and control themselves will one day have the same mastery in great and important things. Some would say that how you do anything is how you do everything. And I'm not sure that would agree with quite that. But I would say that most of the people I know who are successful across the board. Most of the people I know that are impatient and it affects their career are also impatient in their personal relationships or in fitness or in martial arts. Patience, you can think of it kind of the same way as a muscle or a skill. You can practice it. You can become more patient. If you are used to being patient, you can be patient. If you're used to being impatient, you will be impatient. Children are impatient because they haven't practiced patience. But as they become older and we teach them, hopefully, they become more patient. Next, a dojo, practice hall, is a miniature cosmos where we make contact with ourselves, our fears, anxieties, reactions, and habits. It is an arena of confined conflict where we confront an opponent who is not an opponent, but rather a partner engaged in helping us understand ourselves more fully. I've thought a lot about this sort of idea. And there was some conversation yesterday on a TikTok post that I weighed in on briefly about forums. When somebody said, I want to train Kyokushin karate, but I don't want to learn forms. Right? And so a bunch of people chiming in, going back and forth. And my reply was pretty simple. You don't have to like something for it to be good for you. There are exercises that I do at the gym I don't want to do. There are things I do every day I don't want to do, and I'm sure you have the same, but you do them because they're beneficial. I think I've shared this before. I have zero desire to brush my teeth. I know how to brush my teeth. I've done it well. I've done it well for a long time. It is a waste of my time from nearly every perspective, but it's got to get done. So I brush my teeth. I find doing laundry annoying. I find doing the dishes annoying. I actually, here's a little bit of insight into my brain. I have this vision of being very wealthy, and one of the things that happens in the morning is I get my daily briefing. I sit in a chair, someone cuts my hair and shaves me and brushes my teeth and cuts my fingernails. Probably all the things. And then I go take a shower while somebody else gives me, like the news and the weather. I just don't want to do it. I don't want to spend the energy on it. And I know it's ridiculous. And that's part of why I'm sharing it, because I think it illustrates the point that, what was my point? Helping us understand ourselves more fully. Yeah. I understand myself. I understand this about myself. I understand that this is ridiculous. I understand that being patient or disciplined carries great value. And so I do it. Now you might think, oh, Jeremy doesn't like to brush his teeth. He probably does it once a day. Actually, I brushed my teeth yesterday. It was probably 4 times. Every time I eat, I brush my teeth because it needs to get done. Tommy says, I don't like my insulin shots, but I never miss one. And Andrew says, you don't have to like something for it to be good for you. And he says, me and sparring, meaning him. Yeah. Jenny says it's too fancy. And I get it. But I think you also get my point. Ah, coffee. Coffee is not as good right now because I mixed theanine with it because I'm back on to caffeine a bit. And if you don't remember, theanine is an amino acid that you can use with caffeine, and it stabilizes the release or the process of caffeine in the body. Instead of being, a spike and a crash, it's much more level. And if you buy any of the fancy coffees, pre-bagged, pre-ground coffees that have some quality to them where, this coffee won't make you jittery. Every single one of them has theanine. And it's cheap. You can buy a whole bucket of theanine for like $10. Not a bucket, but you don't need much. It's a very large supply. So if you like caffeine, especially coffee, and you want the caffeine to last longer and you don't want it to be spike and crash, L-theanine. What's our last one here? Well, before we move on, just this idea that a martial arts school is a place where people go to face their fears and their demons and work through things. I just think it's so accurate and so beautiful, and I wish we acknowledged it more. I wish we recognized, because plenty do, but far from everyone does, recognize that statistically, the number of women that will be in any given martial arts class that have been sexually assaulted. It's probably the best blunt example I can put up there. And I'm sorry to throw that at you in the morning. And I hope that doesn't strike someone the wrong way. I'm not saying it to be callous. But how many instructors charge blindly into some training and they're not aware of that, right? And that it's like going to war. You have to fight with that instinct to get out of there. You got to fight with it. And I've seen not just women, but I've seen people struggle, and I've seen people face it, and it's awesome to watch. And it's certainly not limited to that. Just picking a dramatic example. I think that's why, so many people talk about martial arts as attracting misfits is the best word I've heard. I know someone who refers to their school as the island of misfit toys. And I think there's an element of truth to that. We recognize that martial arts accepts us for who we are and where we're at, but it also gives us the opportunity to get infinitely better in any way. And that's pretty cool. Soccer doesn't do that. All right, our last quote here today before I send you off to a wonderful Tuesday. When a problem arises, don't fight with it or try to deny it. Accept it and acknowledge it. Be patient in seeking a solution or opening, and then fully commit yourself to the resolution you think advisable. Let's go back through that, because this is a process that, in different words, this is exactly what Tony Robbins teaches for decision making. Problem arises, don't fight with it or try to deny it. No, you got to accept reality. What is in front of you? Whether that is a fist in your face or an unexpectedly large tax bill or a text from someone saying something you'd rather they had not, or your boss telling you got to stay late. You know what really sucks? When you're the boss and you're telling yourself to stay late, because then you can't even be mad at anybody. So accept the problem. Be patient in seeking a solution or opening. Don't rush to solve the problem. Be patient so that you can solve the problem in the best way possible. This is the part where I used to struggle. My solution to solving anxiety had always been, let's just check this box. Let's get rid of this. Oh, there's a problem here. Okay, let's do this. What I've gotten better at is to say, okay, is the problem going to get significantly worse if I take 20 minutes and think about it? No? Okay, then let's take 20 minutes and think about it. If my house is on fire, I'm going to rush to a solution. If the house isn't on fire, I'm not rushing. I'm taking my time. And then this is the part that people struggle with. And I can say this very, very confidently because I work with a lot of people. I work with a lot of clients who have a hard time with this last piece. And then fully commit yourself to the resolution you think advisable. The number of times I get on a call with a client and we work through a problem and there's a solution and they come to a solution and they agree to the solution. I'm like, all right, so you're going to do this. Yeah, I'm going to do this. And they're fired up about it and they agree to do it. And they even say, I'm going to do it by this day because it's not going to happen if you don't have a deadline on it. And then they come back on the next call or I message them on the day it's supposed to be done. And they say, yeah, I decided to go another way. Okay, so what were you going to do? Well, I'm still thinking about it. Okay, so now we have no solution to the problem. We had a great solution, or at least a good solution. We had a solution. And now we have no solution. Now, a lot of us will convince ourselves of all the problems with the solution, the reasons that solution wasn't great or good or worth doing. But most of the time, it's because of something else, and the problem goes unsolved. So when you have a plan of action, you commit to it. If you're a competitive fighter, some manner of tournament, and you go in with a plan, and you get to the plan and you're sparring with someone and you think, this person is, I don't know, you look for reasons to not use the plan. Well, you need the plan. Follow the plan. If you don't have a better plan, follow the plan. Don't throw away the plan for no plan. That could be the title of most people's autobiography. If you have a plan and you commit to the plan, if you spend enough time being patient and considering your solutions, you've found the best plan and you do it. And when you say you're going to do it, you do it. Again, fist in the face, house on fire, anything else. You spend the appropriate amount of time and then you implement the plan with full fervor. How do I get so much done? Because I want to check that box off. I want to get it done. I want to move on. So there you go. Going back, Jenny says, I take L-theanine daily to help with sleep, and I don't even use caffeine. Nice. Gaz says, but you have to find a school that focuses on the mental and spiritual aspect of martial arts, not just the physical. This goes for MMA as well as TMA. I half agree. I think you have better benefits if the school is focusing on those things. But if you are exercising the discipline of showing up to class and doing what is put in front of you, given that you have a variety of people doing a variety of things in a variety of ways, there things you have to work through are inevitably to come up. And I'm not saying that, because I've known schools where they don't spend time on what a lot of martial arts children's programs might refer to as life skills or soft skills. I know very few schools that focus on soft skills for adult programs. But it's threaded into our training. It's there. Even if you don't want it to be there. And here's the proof. If you took 100 people and you enrolled them in think of it as like the most fundamental martial arts training. It was pretty much all basics and forms and some light sparring an hour a week, and it was done silently. Do you not think those people would become more disciplined? Right? There is progress that would happen even without words. And if that's the case, then the stuff's built in. Tommy agrees his school is definitely an island of misfit toys. Take care, Stacy. All right, so there you go. All right, good stuff. Thank you, Frank. I appreciate any time we get to talk about Joe Hyams. There is a very, very short list of people that I am quite sad that I was unable to interview. Joe Lewis is probably number one. But I've been around so many people who know or knew Joe, like Dennis in the chat. Dennis has tons of Joe stories. I've gotten the chance to hear so many different stories from so many different people that I feel like I know him a little bit, and that's awesome. But not Joe Hyams. Joe Hyams. That's funny. Two Joes would have been second. And I think he and I would have had an amazing conversation. I think it would have been similar to the way the Dan Millman episode went. Which, if you haven't checked out that episode, if you want to see the best example of Jeremy being starstruck, it's that episode. The Fumio Demura episode, maybe a little more, because it was so much earlier. Was that 124 or something? Yeah. All righty, it's time to go. I appreciate you coming by. I hope you have a fantastic day, and feel free to think good thoughts about my podcast interviews today, because you're going to get to watch or listen to them later on. And I'm sure you want good episodes. As always, if you want to support the best things you can do, join the Patreon, buy something with the code FirstCup15 at whistlekick.com. The family page is getting updated. I have a whole different plan on how to do that. So if you want to look at the family page in its current form for the last time, go check it out, because we're going to do some different stuff. Thanks for being here. It means a lot to me. Take care, everyone, and I will see you tomorrow. Peace.